Difference between you and the person you admire most is not talent. It's not luck, it's not money. It's mindset. I've seen this truth play out in my life over and over again. When I started Alibaba, I didn't have connections. I didn't have money. I didn't even understand how the internet worked very well. But I had one thing that many others didn't. I believed it was possible. That belief didn't come from books, it came from failure. You see, mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something that's forged through fire. I failed my university entrance exams twice. I applied for 30 different jobs and got rejected. Even KFC turned me down. But every rejection taught me something about how to think. The poor mindset says, I can't. The growth mindset says, I will find a way. The difference between the two is not intelligence, it's mental courage. It's the decision to show up even after everyone says you can't do it. Most people never achieve anything in life, not because they are weak, but because they've trained their minds to expect failure. They've accepted the lie that they are not good enough. And once you accept that lie, you stop trying. You don't need the best education. You don't need a fancy degree. What you need is a mindset that refuses to stay down. When life punches you, you must punch back mentally first before you can rise physically or financially. Mindset is everything because it shapes how you see every challenge. When we were building Alibaba, we were broke. No investors believed in us. We worked in a small apartment in Hangzhou, drinking cheap tea and dreaming big. But we kept telling ourselves, one day the world will know our name. That's the power of mindset. It lets you see light when everyone else sees darkness. It lets you hear the music when others only hear noise. It allows you to build a castle with broken bricks. In the early days, people laughed at me. They said, Jack, you are an English teacher. You don't know technology. Why do you think you can build an internet company? And I said, exactly. Because I don't know what's not possible. I'm willing to try. The biggest prison in the world is not outside. It's in your mind. The chains are made of doubt, fear, insecurity. The key is belief. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your investors. Most people are trained to protect themselves from pain. But in business, in life, in dreams, pain is a teacher. Your mindset must learn to turn pain into fuel, not fear. When you stop fearing failure, you begin to succeed. I used to walk into rooms where nobody respected me. They spoke in business language I didn't understand. But I sat quietly, listened, learned, and told myself one day they will listen to me. And they did. That's mindset. When you have a poor mindset, you wait for opportunity. When you have a strong mindset, you create opportunity. You knock on doors until someone opens. And if no one opens, you build your own door. People often say, Jack, what if I fail? And I say, what if you succeed? Most people don't realize how small their dreams are until they meet someone who has a bigger mindset. So stretch your mind, stretch your thinking. Your limits are lies. Do not be afraid to start small. I started with 20,000 raised from friends, but my vision was global. That mindset, not the money, is what made Alibaba what it is today. Here's a secret. Most people are not successful because they give up too soon. They have microwave minds in a world that requires oven patience. Success is slow cooked. Mindset is the fire that keeps it burning. Your background is not your limit. I came from a poor family. I was not born into wealth or power, but I refused to let that become my ceiling. I saw my background as fuel, not a curse. If your mind is stuck in the past, your future will never move forward. Mindset means being able to see beyond what happened yesterday and focus on what you can build today. You must train your mind like a muscle. If you only think positive when things are easy, you're weak. True mindset shows up when everything is falling apart and you still move forward. When I faced my biggest failures, like when Yahoo pulled out of a deal, the IPO was delayed, I didn't cry or complain. I focused my mind on the next move. That's the mindset of a warrior, not a worrier. You don't need approval to have a dream. You don't need permission to grow. Mindset gives you internal permission to be more, even when others see you as less. Some of you are living small not because you lack potential, but because you think small. Change the way you think and you'll change the size of your life. When I was in school, I was one of the worst students in math. But I believed that business was not about being the smartest. It was about being the most mentally persistent. I never gave up. That's the only reason I'm here. Remember, this talent can take you to the door, but mindset is what pushes it open. I've hired many smart people, but the ones who grow are the ones who never say, I can't. Do not fear being the underdog. The underdog who believes will always defeat the favorite who doubts. This world rewards those who think they can, even when they are not supposed to. Mindset gives you the power to stand alone. There were times I stood alone in boardrooms, on stages, in meetings, but I didn't shrink because I knew what I believed. That belief was louder than their doubt. Most people think mindset is motivation. No, motivation is temporary. Mindset is discipline. It is the daily decision to act even when you don't feel inspired. I've seen rich people with poor minds, and I've seen poor people with rich minds. Guess who wins in the end? The one who believes longer, harder, deeper. Mindset means falling 7 times and standing up 8. I was rejected more times than I can count. But rejection doesn't define you, your response to it does. You are not too late, you are not too poor. You're just one mindset shift away from a new life, but that shift must happen inside first. Your environment can be tough. People around you might not believe in dreams. But if your mind is strong, no environment can stop you. A seed doesn't complain about the soil, it just grows through it. Some of you are waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting. Mindset means moving even when it's raining, failing, or lonely. The world rewards action, not hesitation. Your excuses are not facts. They are just thoughts you've repeated long enough to believe. Change those thoughts. Challenge those lies. Replace them with power. People ask me how I stayed strong in times of crisis. The truth is, I didn't always feel strong, but my mindset was trained to keep going. I didn't rely on emotion. I relied on vision. Success is not an accident. It's a mindset built from habits, from beliefs, from daily courage. Every day you feed your mind with doubt, you weaken your future. Every day you feed it with belief, you build a new one. Mindset is everything, because life will not always go your way. But if your mind is right, your spirit will never break. You can bend, but you won't snap. Look around you. Everything you see was once an idea in someone's mind. A building, a phone, a company, a brand. It all started in someone's head. So what's in you yours? If you don't control your mind, the world will control it for you. Social media, failure, fear, they will hijack your brain if you don't lead it. You must take the wheel. No matter what stage you are in, remind yourself, you are not here to survive. You are here to build, to impact, to grow. And all of that begins with the right mindset. I've learned that your competitors are not your biggest enemy. Your limited thinking is. You can outwork and outlast anyone if your mindset is resilient. When others see problems, train your mind to see opportunity. Every crisis is a chance for those who are bold enough to think differently. Some people will laugh at your dreams. That's okay. That means your dream is big enough. Protect it. Feed it. Let your mindset be your armor. Your results in life are a reflection of your internal story. What are you telling yourself every day? If it's weakness, change the script. Tell yourself something stronger. You can have 100 mentors, but if your mindset is still fearful, nothing will change. The best mentor in the world is your inner voice. Train it to push you, not pity you. I am standing here today not because I am special, but because I decided long ago to stop letting failure control my thinking. That decision, not my resume, changed my life. In the end, your life will be shaped by one thing, not your job, not your luck, not your bank account, but your mindset. And the good news is mindset is free. You can build it starting today. So I ask you, not as Jack Ma the businessman, but as a man who once failed the college entrance exam twice, what are you waiting for? Change your mind and you'll change your world. Because in this life, one truth remains: mindset is everything.